Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have ourselves a 1v1 in Crossing in the Woods. Once again, we're back in the new map that was introduced in the recent patch. And this time around, our heroes are going to be What Doth Life, playing for the Soviets. And his opponent is going to be Maximus, playing for the Germans. Now, What Doth Life? He submitted the replay, and he does say that it isn't a very high-level, game, so don't expect MLG grade here, but it says that it is nonetheless should be interesting, so we'll see what happens here. In any case, we see that What Doth Life has started off with Tier 2 right off the bat, getting a conscript squad as well, and then following it up with a mortar. This is a very interesting opening. You don't see that very often. A Maximus machine gun, I suppose you can understand. It does provide, fire support for your conscripts if you keep them together, or you can use it to lock down a sector. Although I'm not entirely familiar with this map to know if you can lock down sectors. I suppose the fuels at the end, both of them have a building that you can put in. We have one right here and one right here. So you could put a machine gun in there and just lock down the fuel, at least in the early game. So that could work, but he's going for a mortar, so that's not the option that is going on right now. Maximus, for his part, getting Tier 1 and opening up with 2 MG42s, and then following it up with his own mortar, so interesting opening by both. Let's talk about a little bit about the strategies here. We have already commander selected for both players. We have the Advanced Warfare Tactics for What Doth Life. That is the new one that got released. It's the one with the wall hacks, the radio intercept, and the PPSA just plus the T-3485 that's only one-man call-in. Maximus laying down a bunker over here at the very edge, trying to lock down this approach, although it doesn't defend the fuel, but, well, it defends his side of the river, I suppose. Also, Maximus getting himself the German Mechanized Doctrine. That is not the one with the Assault Grenadiers. That is the one that comes with the half-track with an LMG squad inside. That is free Doctrine that got released a while ago, I think. But yeah, anyways. So, first engagement by the left-hand victory point. Conscripts getting engaged by an MG42, getting instantly suppressed. The mortar sets up a little bit behind that. However, it is now packing up and repositioning to try to aim at the MG42. However, the conscripts do take quite a beating and are forced to retreat. What Doth Life at this point has built 3 conscript squads while hitting the field right now, with his mortar still there for support. Maximus, for his part, has not built anything else just yet. Only 2 MG42s and a mortar for his conscripts on the right-hand side, running into the MG42. MG42 already captured the point, and the conscripts are unable to press forward. Bunker over here has not gotten upgraded with anything, but we'll see what happens there. And let's talk about a little bit about those bulletins. We have What Doth Life getting the 10% faster mine placement, so we'll see if he actually does place mines. He has Engineer. Never make an engineer mad. It's a 5% cooldown on the shots for engineers. And a 5% increased armor protection for the T-70s. Okay, interesting selection there. Maximus, for his part, has MG42 buffs. He has experience and 4% increased rate of fire. And the mortar has a 10% faster recharge in its abilities. So, well, I mean, those do make sense considering that he got 3 MG42s now and a mortar. So, definitely using his bulletins to the maximum. Small engagements over here on the left-hand side. Combat engineers forced to retreat since the mortar actually nailed them. Look at them there. They're crawling, trying to stay alive, but they are dead. Conscripts up in the far north go to cut off the right-hand side fuel to Maximus. And we see the MG42 running back to try to fend that off. Not much going on in the field right now. We do have 3 conscript squads, one of them moving over to the left-hand side, the other one is up in the north, and one going to the right-hand side. However, there is still this MG42 over here. Mortar could be put to use to, displace that, but... Ow, my throat. Sorry. Getting some type of stabbing pain in my throat. I don't know what the hell's going on. Maybe I'll have to take a break for a day after I cast this one, but we're gonna keep on trucking on this one at least and finish one so that we have some backups. Ow, it's hurting a lot. Anyways, conscripts across the river, they're going for the munitions point, while conscripts up in the north are going to harass the MG42. MG42 was being used to cap the strategic point that got cut off, and the conscripts force it off the point, still denying that right-hand side fuel to Maximus. Maximus calls in something else, and that is a Grenadier squad, finally a combat unit on the field. The MG42 does set up and manages to push away the conscript squad. Conscript squad retreating, not really taking much damage, only superficial wounds. No medics back at base, however, so those conscripts will hit the field a little bit damaged. And we see that what Doth Life is laying down fuel caches in a lot of his strategic points, specifically. Well, actually, never mind. I was going to say specifically the ones that cut off territory, but this is the one that cuts off most, which is nice for him to actually, you know, secure like that. But this one over here is pretty much abandoned. It doesn't actually connect to anything for the most part. If we, well, we won't take a look, but you can see there that it's just a little area that's by itself. It's not critical to connect territories. So both players look like they're going to be taking a little bit of a passive approach to this fight. They just want to secure their territory as much as they can and shoot from afar and keep the infantry away with their MG42s and even a bunker. So this bunker is interestingly placed. I mean, it does defend the fuel a little bit right there at the edge, a little bit, about half the point. Not exactly sure, though, what the idea behind this is. I suppose to cover that flank. Right-hand side, Grenadiers gonna get engaged by conscripts. The first real fight of the match. Grenadiers run back to the cover of those boxes. The conscripts right on top of them. Do we have Molotovs? Nope, no Molotovs, no medics, no nothing on the field just yet for What's Off Life. So he is not able to produce anything. He is, though, going for tier 3. So we will probably see a quick T70. Relatively quick, we're already 7 minutes in, but, you know, considering that he does have that bulletin, I'm assuming he's probably going to be going for T70s. So a lot of conscript squads on the right-hand side. They're going to run into that MG42. We do have a conscript squad set up for a little bit of a flank, although it is apparently going for the point. Should be diverted and help out this conscript squad. They got caught out in the open. However, it's just going to go for the point. Point will cut off the fuel once again, but yeah. MG42 across the river manages to throw a small burst at these conscripts. However, the conscripts do not get suppressed. And then we have the MG42 over here, just facing down the base. However, the fuel cache is not actually getting targeted. Conscript's going to run into that MG42. MG42 going to get moved out of there, and still no Molotovs on the field for What Doth Life. I mean, not saying that this is a bad, you know, build or strategy to go for. Try to get those T70s, but, you know, something more common, like going those 3 conscripts into Molotovs. I don't know why I keep stuttering like that. Anyways, going like the 3 conscripts into Molotovs would have helped a lot in this engagement, because there's a lot of MG42s, and you can very quickly get MG42s retreated or even decrewed with Molotovs, and then follow that up if you want with your tier 2 and mortars. Mortar is an excellent choice in this situation because of those MG42s. But yeah, I mean, right now, What Doth Life is allowing Maximus to have both fuel points connected, which is never a good idea. Thankfully for him, nothing has come out from Maximus, although he does have 108th fuel. He does go for tier 2. Nothing out of tier 2 just yet. But, yeah, I mean, he's going to have a lot of fuel and could potentially just go to tier 3 and all such very quickly. But, well, I wouldn't expect that very soon. T70 now in the field for What Doth Life, so this might allow him to just make a quick and heavy push onto the field. Mortar in the center, trying to dislodge that MG42. MG42 is taking quite a beating. The conscripts in the center, however, are pinned down, and there's nobody there for support. Far left-hand side, we have a demolition charge getting laid down by the combat engineers for What Doth Life, and the MG42 is pushing in to pursue them. Panzer Grenadiers on the field. They take some shots at the T70. The T70 has to back off. And it's taking some shots at distance to the Panzer Grenadiers. The Panzer Grenadiers, however, can do quick work of that T70 if it is not carefully managed. Maximus machine gun now in the field for What Doth Life, now opening up on the Panzer Grenadiers. Mortar also opening up from the base, I believe. Where is it actually? Yeah, it's back at the base. opens up on the Panzer Grenadiers, forces them to move out of the way, and they get suppressed a little bit. T-70 moves over to the left-hand side, forces away Pios and the MG-42, and the combat engineers are nearby to continue to capture. Exactly sure why he's going for the munitions, although taking the fuel would be in its best interest, but, well, we'll see. Mines getting laid down for What Doth Life, very nice. Using his ability to lay them down 10% faster. And the conscripts are getting PPSHs, all of them actually have them, so they should be able to now push and do a lot of damage to the German infantry. Ooh, nasty shot there by the T-70, nails 2 of the Panzer Grenadiers. Faust does end up going off at the end, however, critting on that T-70. Combat engineers are nearby and could repair, however they are capturing the point, and the T-70 is just simply going to back off. Conscripts on the far left-hand side, they go towards the fuel and start laying down a sandbag. However, the bunker over here does open up on them and gets them pinned, which does not allow them to actually get the point, which is quite unfortunate. Mortar. This is the German mortar. It got decrewed, so this is also another option for What Doth Life to get it. And over to the right-hand side, we see the mortar for What Doth Life moving in to try to dislodge that MG-42, which has been sitting there for pretty much the entire game. T-70 moves in to try to take down that bunker. It will do it, but it will take a while. However, there are Panzerschrecks moving in its direction, and it does have a damaged engine, so I think this T-70 is actually done for. Panzer Grenadiers get in range. Shrek goes off, but misses. What Doth Life notices that and backs off. However, it is backing off into the range of the Shreks. There it goes. One hits. Second one just needs the squad to stop so that it can shoot. But there is a demolition charge there. Blow it. Blow it. There you go. Nice little bait there by What Doth Life. Takes out the entire squad and actually drops a Shrek. So this might be a nice opportunity for him. However, there is nothing nearby to pick it up. There's a combat engineer squad, but, well, at least conscripts would be the better choice. Half-track on the field for What Doth Life. Not exactly sure why a half-track. Doesn't have enough infantry to justify it, unless he concentrates them all, but yeah, I guess it's fine. Conscripts on the right-hand side, getting stopped by the MG-42 since it's still there. Nice little move that he could do is pop in a conscript squad in the half-track, run past the MG-42, and then, move out behind it. Tier 3 and Panzer IV now down for Maximus, so he is going to be able to do quite a bit of a push here. Conscripts running into the Panzer IV. They do not have 18-8s or Molotovs at this point just yet, which is surprising. T-70 has its crew repair ability engaged. MG-42 runs on top of the Panzer Shrek, and the Panzer IV is now in hot pursuit of the T-70. The T-70 is trying to cross the river, crosses it through a little bit of a rough part, and it gets stuck. Panzer IV catches up to it, takes a shot but misses. Panzer IV will get stuck in the water itself. T-70 shoots back, gets another shot and misses, and the T-70 is still alive, might be able to get out of there alive. MG-42 in the center. We have Maximus machine gun. They got decrewed there for Maximus. What Doth Life decides to cross the river. Not the best idea, but he still makes it out of there without much of an issue, and is now running straight back home, and now is building a T-34 to try to stop it. It also has Tier 2, so an AT gun would not go amiss here, but we'll see if he decides to do that. T-70 decides not to run into its base, and is now getting hunted down by the Panzer IV. Does get shot once. Second shot will take it out. Misses, however, but the MG-42 opens up with its incendiary rounds, doing sufficient damage so that one more shot will take it out, and there it goes. T-70 is now down and out, and the conscripts are also down on the ground due to the MG-42. Panzer IV takes more shots, and the conscripts are forced to retreat. Still no 18-8s on the field for What Doth Life, which means that the Panzer IV has nothing to fear. Mortar getting assaulted by the Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers picked up their own Shrek, so that means that Panzer Grenadier squad probably only has one Shrek. Yeah, so that's a decently balanced squad. It has one Shrek to combat tanks, and it still has 3 Stormgewehrs to provide a lot of firepower against infantry, so it's a little bit more multi-purpose rather than specialized against vehicles. T-34 getting, getting manhandled here by the Panzer IV. Panzer IV decides to blitz while it is still standing still, not even moving. but it will be able to catch up with that T-34. However, doesn't really need to. Takes a shot, down it goes, and the Panzer IV is now king. Shreks are also nearby, and What Doth Live is now in a horrible situation. AT gun gets produced, now on the field, so he will be able to keep that Panzer IV at bay. And Maximus gives out the GG, a little bit of a bad-mannered GG, I guess you could say. I think he assumes that the game is over. And he might be right, but we'll see. Usually, unless you know you're winning by victory points and you're about to take down, probably not a good idea to go with the GG, because yeah, that seems kind of BM. AT gun sets up in the center, just keeping that tank at bay. Panzer IV currently getting repaired by the Pios. The MG42 still there on the field. We do have a mortar on the field. The mortar has not really done much that we can see. It's killed 5 units, and that's about it. Conscripts running to the right-hand side. There's still an MG42 there, so they will not be able to do much. Not really sure why he keeps on trying to send it there. It's the old sledgehammer approach, just keep smacking your face against the a wall and see if hopefully it'll break sooner or later. Panzer IV finally getting a little bit of damage on the engine. That looks like it was a mine, however. Although, considering the amount of damage, I think it was actually an 18-8 from these guys. AT gun moves over to the left-hand side and is now getting some nice shots off on that Panzer IV. The combat engineers capture the fuel on the left-hand side and pick up a mortar. The Panzer IV is trying to run away from the AT gun. The AT gun is out of range. The Panzer IV is still alive. Panzer IV runs over the sandbags and is right next to a mine. So What Doth Live might get a nice win there. MG42 on the left-hand side does get a pin down on these conscript squad, which is not really supported, so it needs to retreat. Bunker getting laid down in the center for Maximus, just trying to secure the location. We have a combat engineer on the half-track. Not going to be able to do much against that bunker, at least not quickly. We have a second Panzer IV for Maximus heading straight into the base. However, it does end up getting 18-aided, probably. Not exactly sure what damage did, but it will... Well, there's an AT gun, so it's probably the AT gun. But yeah, it has a damage engine, so it needs to get out of there. Panzer IV over here is just set up to defend the point. We see a MG42 moving in to support it. Panzer Grenadiers also on the left-hand side. And the half-track is now getting assaulted by the Panzer IV from the rear armor. Ejects his crew and circles around through the river, trying to get out of there alive. Looks like it will be able to do so. 2 AT guns now in the field for What Doth Live. He will be able to take out this Panzer IV, I think. I don't think he's going to be able to make it out of there. However, if he sets up his AT guns looking in the wrong direction, then the Panzer IV might be able to get out of there just fine. One thing to keep in mind, although I suppose it doesn't really matter with that doctrine, but usually you don't want to set up your AT guns that close by, because an ability call in, like even a strafing run or something like that, will do a lot of damage, especially something like a light artillery barrage right on top of both of your AT guns. Yeah, ooh, that would hurt a lot. Conscripts push forward. They don't actually destroy the bunker, the AT guns do. We still have that Maximus machine gun in the world. What Doth Live now has 2 mortars, so he will be able to provide some nice fire support. But over on the right-hand side, we still have that MG42 set up in an angle where these conscripts are going to run straight into it, like a sledgehammer to a wall, and not be able to do much. Still no Molotovs for What Doth Live, so he can't even get into range to throw a Molotov. Does manage to get in range to throw a Sturmovik attack on top of the MG42. However, it packs up and gets out of the way. Takes a little bit of damage and sets up once again. The Sturmovik will be able to... No, actually it won't. This is just the Sturmovik strafing run. It's not going to linger and attack more than once, so yeah. Conscripts, however, do manage to crawl into the range of the point, and they are in heavy cover, although they are suppressed. Given the heavy cover, however, they might be able to cap the point without getting pinned. We'll see. Flak Panzer now in the field for Maximus. He feels a little bit confident that there are no tanks that threaten him. Panzer IV over on the left-hand side, getting assaulted by the Maximus machine gun and an AT gun. AT guns, however, decide to turn around and head towards the center, towards that Flak Panzer. And the conscripts in the center... No, not conscripts, a mine actually got hit. Oh, nice hit there by the mortar. Nails that squad. And the MG42 on the right-hand side actually finally goes down to the conscript. Since they have those PPS sages, they were able to pepper it until eventually it went down. Not that the 25% additional damage to support weapons had anything to do with it, right? So what Doth Life manages to bring himself back into the game by doing some successful kills. Getting that Panzer IV was critical, and the Panzer IV on the left-hand side manages to get back to full strength. The mine that was right here got detonated, but I'm not sure if it actually killed anything. T-34 now in the field for What Doth Life. Conscripts right on top of those Pyos with those PPS sages. They will wreck the Pyo squad very quickly. Even the AT gun is going off and it kills 2 of its members. No, wait, that's the T-34. Yeah, 2 friendly kills for the T-34. But they do manage to execute the squad, so at least they get a squad kill. T-34 runs straight into the Panzer IV, getting damaged horribly. The AT gun does set up in range, however, and it's going to open up on the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV will take a lot of damage here and might even go down if it doesn't get out of there quick. AT gun now has Veteran C3. At Veteran C3, it does a lot of damage. I think the AT guns are the one that actually get increased penetration with Veteran C, but I might be wrong. T-34 trying to back off from the Panzer IV. Makes it out of there just barely. The Panzer IV is still pushing forward, and we only have 1 AT gun left on the field. The other AT gun got decrewed a little bit up in the north. There it is. So this Panzer IV doesn't really have a lot to worry about just yet, since the AT gun is a little bit further to the left and is going to get decrewed by Panzer Grenadiers. T-34, it ran back to base, not being used to fight. However, the AT gun does manage to get in range and takes down the Panzer IV. So a very lucky engagement there for What Doth Life. Flak Panzer trying to run down mortar squads. The AT gun is moving down into position to be able to engage it. Will be able to do so. Flak Panzer shooting at the half track. AT gun sets up and is unable to shoot at the Flak Panzer for some reason. A little bit of a line of sight situation. Interesting. We have towers. I actually hadn't noticed those. Do both players actually have them? Doesn't look like it. No. Well, anyway, so Flak Panzer backs off after taking a little bit of damage, and that's it. So What Doth Life pretty much has everything back at his base, licking his wounds, trying to stay alive. Gets his mortars back on the field. One of them is getting reinforced, but will not get the last reinforcement since it ran out of the base. It'll reinforce once it gets near the half track, though, so that's nice. Combat Engineers going to try to repair that half track. T-34 now back to full strength. And he is going to call in a T-34-85 to have a little bit more firepower on the field and a little bit of a stronger weapon. Flak Panzer and Panzer IV are still on the field, although this one is brand new, so I shouldn't say still. Panzer IV is now on the field, that's what I should say for Maximus. And the T-34 is going to run straight into it. This is a standard T-34. Panzer IV starts shooting at it, getting the upper hand. And the T-34-85 is a little bit behind that, not supporting the T-34. Left-hand side, mortar squad barraging the MG42. Managing to actually do some decent damage, considering that the suppression effect doesn't actually have any effect on the crew. But rifle nade goes down, brings it down to 3 men, and they continue to shoot, trying to nail the squad. Mortar a little bit further back, also going to be opening up. Mortar squad forced to retreat, and the Grenadiers are still there. Maximus machine gun does not manage to stop the Grenadiers. The Grenadiers push forward. T-34 standard 1 pushes on top of the Grenadiers. One thing to keep in mind, remember, if they are crawling in the floor, they move very slowly, so you could run them over. And T-34-85 pushes forward right on top of the Panzer IV and takes a shot. Nice damage on the Panzer IV. Panzer IV now down to about half health. T-34-85 will duke it out, and it looks like it is going to win actually the fight, doing significantly more damage than his 76 counterpart. Bouncing off on that last shot though, however, equalizes the engagement relatively. But with one last shot, the Panzer IV goes down, and the T-34 really has nothing to worry about. T-34 engaging against the Flak Panzer. The Flak Panzer actually does a decent amount of damage to a T-34. So while the T-34 should actually win the fight, it doesn't mean that he will come out of it undamaged. So if you have a damaged T-34, you need to be rather careful when engaging a Flak Panzer. The incendiary rounds are going off on the MG42, doing actually a significant amount of damage to that T-34. And T-34 decides to back off and leave the Flak Panzer alive. Victory point wise, what Doth Life is getting 265, while Maximus is at 252, so pretty much dead even there. Another MG42 taking the place of the lost squad over on the right hand side. Nobody actually picked up that weapon, and we still have some weapons littered across the battlefield. We have an AT gun still that nobody has picked up. We have a Maximus machine gun in the center that nobody has picked up as well. We now have a Stug on the field for Maximus, so he wants to have something to be able to combat those T-34s, and the Stug is not a bad choice as long as he can keep it supported. It actually outranges the T-34s very significantly, and it could do very quick work of a T-34-85, but they're currently back at base, not going to be in much danger. They need to get repaired, and the combat engineers are currently in the center, trying to be too bold to just push forward, so they need to back off, go repair those tanks, and put the mainstay force here for What Doth Life back into the game. Conscripts back off from the center since they notice that there is a Flak Panzer and a Stug defending the center point. Maximus machine gun captures the point on the left hand side, and the half-track moves in with its AA gun to try to clear out the crew inside, and actually does a lot of damage and kills 2 in the first burst. Second guy is still there, but no, goes down, so that MG42 is lost, and the mortar will be able to set up there. Pio squad getting produced for Maximus, or well, already on the field I should say. And the conscripts now push forward, gonna get right on top of that Flak Panzer. Flak Panzer doing a lot of damage to them, but the PPSHs are wrecking the Grenadiers. Grenadiers down to 1 man, gonna be forced to retreat, there they go. But the Flak Panzer is just wrecking that squad down to 2 men, needs to get it out of there, you're gonna lose it, they're all very too clumped, there they go. And the conscripts try to get themselves out of the sight of that Flak Panzer. He needs to be able to push an AT gun here a little bit further up and be able to shoot at that Flak Panzer. It's not in range, just position it in a different angle. It should be good. T-34 pushes forward by itself. The T-34-85 severely damaged, is pushing over to the left-hand side. Not entirely sure why it's doing that, although I suppose it is rather defended. Flak Panzer moves over to the left-hand side, takes out the Maximus machine gun, the weapon itself, so the crew in its entirety goes down. Flak Panzer catches the half-track out of position, but the T-34 is there to defend it, even though it is very low in health. And the T-34 does a lot of damage to the Flak Panzer, however the Flak Panzer can take it out. Not entirely sure why What Doth Life is risking his T-34-85 in this manner. The Flak Panzer makes it out of there with Blitzkrieg, so he's I think he's actually suiciding his T-34 in this situation. But no, it looks like he just stops it on the wrong side of the tracks. T-34-85 takes a little bit of a beating from the Stug in the center, it looks like, so it backs off. And the AT gun is, barraging right there on top of the Pios, doing a lot of damage. Hits the Stug, but misses, and the Pios move out of the way, so they will be fine. AT gun risking it all, just being on this side of the river. However, Maximus has not been able to produce a lot. Another T-34-85 called into the field, and the Panzer Grenadiers right on top of the Veteran C3 AT gun. They will be able to do a lot of damage. They do have only 2 Shreks. I mean, they do have 2 Shreks, which means they only have 2 Stormgewehr rifles, so it might be fine, but well, we'll see. T-34-85 with nothing for health is back on the field over on the left-hand side, and the combat engineers are repairing the T-34-76. AT guns do get decrewed because What Doth Life, well, didn't manage them properly. Panzer Grenadier almost goes down to the IL-2 Thermalvic. Does catch it at the end. Nice strafing run there by What Doth Life. Was only 1 man, so not high value, but it did end up killing the squad. So I suppose that worked. Stug versus T-34-85. I believe the Stug will win that fight. The T-34-76 moving in to support the engagement. T-34-85 taking quite a beating here. The T-34-76 moves in to intercept. T-34-85 will go down in 1 more shot. Needs to get itself out of there. It does start to back off, but the Stug outranges it. And the T-34-76 is now in the way, so the Stug will go down. although the 76 is bouncing its shots. Stuck. Gaining better in T3, gets an increase in armor, so it might actually keep him alive. And the T-34 76, oh, nails it in one last shot. Kills out both Pio squads and ends that engagement very quickly. Points 255 to 245. Again, anybody's game because, well, nobody has points right now. But Maximus has lost a significant amount of things. He has the Flak Panzer, Panzer IV, Grenadier Squad, and an MG42, which the MG42 is being used to just secure the fuel on the right-hand side, which you really shouldn't do that much. I mean, T-34, 76, backing off. The AA gun gets destroyed by the Panzer IV. The T-34-85 moves in to support, takes some shots at the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV will be going down here. We have a lot of infantry nearby. We do have AT nades on the conscripts, however, they did not move forward to throw one. And the T-34-85 pushes forward. The second one is on the left-hand side, not being brought into this fight. And we have a half-track on the field for Maximus with a Grand Squad with an LMG inside. The half-track for What Doth Life finally goes out of control. T-34-85 finishes off the Panzer IV, and the half-track moves in to get annihilated here by the tanks. Maximus now gives the GG, but I think the GG is now meant that he lost, and there he goes. Leaves the game, and What Doth Life ends up winning the engagement. So yeah, I guess I can agree that, you know, not the highest level of play, but still a very nice game overall. Whoa, that actually lagged me very much. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.